Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me with another Tuesday Tips. I hope that you've enjoyed the previously aired LinkedIn Live Tuesday Tips as I had taken July off, and I hope that they were helpful to you, some of those tips that were previously aired and had the chance to listen to them. So thank you for joining me again on Tuesday for another Tuesday Tips. We are going to talk about the power of standard operating procedures, unleashing efficiency and consistency in your medical practice. So, maintaining unwavering efficiency and consistency is paramount in the fast paced world of healthcare. Amidst the chaos of juggling patient care, administrative tasks, and ever evolving regulations, it's easy for even the most dedicated medical professionals to stumble. Well, what if we told you there's a secret weapon that can transform your practice into a well oiled machine? And that is introducing standard operating procedures, the unsung heroes of the medical world. SOPs are not sexy by no means. They're not glamorous. However, SOPs are more than just a set of dry, dusty guidelines gathering cobwebs on a shelf. They are meticulously crafted, detailed instructions that serve as the backbone of your practice, guiding your team through every critical process with military precision. From the moment a patient walks through your doors to the final follow-ups appointments, SOPs ensure a seamless, consistent experience, leaving no room or little to no room for errors or deviations. But the benefits of an SOP extends far beyond more consistency. By standardizing your workflows, you're unlocking a world of efficiency that will leave you wondering, how did we ever survive without them? Imagine a practice where every team member moves in perfect synchronicity, each task flowing seamlessly into the next, eliminating unnecessary delays and bottlenecks and duplicities. It's a symphony of productivity where every role is played with razor sharp precision. Now, let's not forget the invaluable role SOPs play in training and onboarding your new staff. Gone are the days of trial and error learning or relying on the well intentioned but often inconsistent guidance of veteran employees. With SOPs as your true sidekick, new hires can hit the ground running, armed with a comprehensive understanding of your practice's processes from day one. You can still partner with your SOPs and your veteran employees that are knowledgeable about your processes that are documented in this SOPs with your new hire or new as part of your training from day one. And the benefit of the SOPs in their ability to safeguard the practice from ever looming threat of non-compliance, particularly in this industry we're in where regulation and standards are consistently evolving. SOPs acts as your unwavering guide, ensuring your team remains ahead of the curve and immune of costly legal entanglements. Now we know what you're thinking. Developing and implementing SOPs sounds like a daunting task, one that will consume countless hours and resources. But fear not, for the rewards for outweighing this effort of creating an SOP is going to be beneficial. You also want to involve your team members in development of processes. Not only will they benefit from their invaluable insights and practice knowledge, but also foster a sense of ownership and buy-in that will make implementation a seamless transition. And let's not forget the beauty of continuous improvement. SOPs are living documents, so that means that they change over time. So for example, if a regulatory has changed, or if you're participating in a value-based program and the requirements have changed. So your SOPs is just that, a living document that will change over time. And also, let's not forget, if you add another service that may require a new process, or an added service that will be incorporated with the old process and a new process together. So that is another opportunity for you to get the chance to review those SOPs. And again, just as a reminder, it is a living document, so it will change over time. It is not by no means the hard coded or anything that is not needing to change at all. So wanting to emphasize that part. Consistently evolving to the ever-changing landscape of healthcare. Regular reviews and revisions ensure your practice maintains at the cutting edge, embracing the latest advancements and best practices without missing a beat. So you're asking yourself, what are you waiting for? Embrace the power of standard operating procedures and watch as your medical practice transforms into a well-oiled, efficient, and consistent machine, delivering exceptional patient care with every encounter. So you want to, as over time, you want to take your time to elevate your game now, your patients, your team, and your practice success would want to demand nothing less. But keep in mind these three big points. One, a standard operating procedures is a living document. That means that it changes over time. It is not going to be the same year after year, year after year. And the reason for that is that there may be processes or services that had processes that could have expanded. Also, if your practice is downsizing, if there are any changes to your processes, whether you're eliminating one or adding one, that's a time for you to review and see if the standard operating procedures are still valid for your practice. The second point is that within your changes, you want to make sure that your care teams are involved in that process, because they are working the process that you've established and detailed to your practice. And remember, each practice and specialty are different. They're not the same in size and scope. Therefore, if your business model has changed, or your patient flow has changed, or just workflows in general have changed because structurally your practice has changed, staffing resources may change. So that would be, again, a good time to bring in discussions with your care team, because they are performing the tasks that is documented in your standard operating procedures. So if they're no longer performing those specific procedures or processes, that would be time to remove them. Or if you're adding a new one because you have a new service and it needs to be incorporated what's existing, that would also be a good time for you to discuss with your care team. These are your frontline folks that are in touch with patients, also working together as colleagues, and are also in the systems that you have in place. So they would have a knowledge base and would be able to see how those changes in your standard operating procedures would apply to the task and work that they are, and then also in the role that you have them in the practice. And lastly, with a standard operating procedure, these guidelines help to align, if you are compliant with a regulatory, if your practice happens to be underneath a regulation that you need to be accrediting for, or needing to re-accredit or certification of things of that nature, then you want to make sure that your standard operating procedures are up to date. Again, these are guides that you have detailed and crafted, that this is the processes that are pertinent to your practice or organization. So this would be very important to review on a year-to-year basis. Check pulse, seeing if this is still applicable, perhaps in one of your semi-annual meetings with your teams, something to take a look at. And also, it would also be a good time to take a look at that if you're endeavoring into an expansion of your practice or another service, to see how are we doing this today in current state in our standard operating procedures? Will this be affected by the changes that we're making? And if so, then that would be a time to reevaluate to see what are those impactful tasks or um, services that is going to change in your standard operating procedures. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that this is something that you already have in existence, but if you don't have it in existence, it might be something to take a look at and see if how can we create one for our practice to make sure that we have our processes in place. And if you want to learn more or need my assistance, please feel free to reach out. And I hope to see you again in another Tuesday Tips. Have a great day.